said, oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire.
Testing. Is this thing on? Testing.
Anybody home?
Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast. Hope you all doing good tonight. Yes, it is Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You're probably wondering what in the straight hell is going on. The audio listeners are like, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't release that till Monday morning. So thank you guys for putting up, you didn't really have a choice, but I had a huge internet trouble on Wednesday night, and it just turned into a huge disaster. And then Larry and I tried a little bit later just to record the podcast, and it dumped. And it's hopefully tonight. I've tested my internet. I've asked my beautiful wife, even though it's her birthday and Mother's Day tomorrow, if she can stop watching Star Wars with Sullivan tonight just for an hour, just in case. So, oh, God, it's been really weighing on me. I know I'm laughing about it, but I was pretty stressed about it that night.
She must love you or something.
She must love me. I got her I got her some good gifts, so hopefully she was very gracious, so I can't thank her enough. But we're going to try this tonight. Hopefully we can make it past Larry's story, because the two times that we did it dumped on Larry's story. So if you want to see some more stories or some news, go to gigeconomyshow.com. You can sign up for our newsletter, get notified when a new episode drops, we're pretty consistent every week on Monday, but you never know. We might pop an extra one in there, here and there. I want to mention our Patreon members, Samson, Steve, Bud, Omar, Delivery Cats, Jamie, Frank, Tom, Jim. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. If you want to, go to patreon.com/the Gig Econ Podcast. There you can sign up for a $5, $10 tier. Each has some perks. Of course, the $10 tier is much better. I would sign up for that one. So, and then the Telegram group, that's just a group where we all get together and talk shop. If you need somebody to, you need to vent to somebody, or you have a question about gig work in general, there's veteran rideshare drivers and delivery drivers in there. I bet you in that whole group for rideshare drivers, I bet you there's 50,000 rides in that group. If everyone combined,
I'd say so. I think I'm at 14,000. Closing in on 14,000.
Yeah, and Dave, I think he's over 20. So there's 34 right there between the two of you.
There you go.
At first, I thought 50 was a little aggressive, but I don't think it is, because I think I'm at
probably
8.
Closer to. Yeah, between all those, if you counted everybody in the group, it would be way up there. But
we might be close to 75.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you got questions about gig work. We've probably seen it before. One of us has probably experienced it or run into that problem or experience or had the same question or something like that. So, it's a good resource for sure.
Anytime you hear anything of talking about stuff, all our links are in the description of the YouTube channel, or if you're listening on the audio, they're all in there. Check those out. We just had someone sign up for got a tablet, an Octopus tablet, somebody that I don't know, but thank you for that.
Nice.
Before we jump into gig economy news, Larry,
yes.
Do you have any stories from the road?
Okay, I'm not telling that story again. I'll give you like a 2-sentence description. I had a girl pass out in my back seat. She was very confused when we got home. Sorry, that's all I'm telling of that story.
Okay, great story.
But the rest of it was Cinco de Mayo last week, of course. Had some people, had like 2 couples picked up, and they were going to the bowling alley. They'd been out drinking already, so they were feeling pretty good. And the girl of one of the couples, like, she was getting in the front seat, and the guy's like, no, I'll sit up there. Her boyfriend was like, no, I'll sit in front. She's like, no, this is my seat. She wanted up front. So she gets up front, and then like 2 minutes later, she hears all the people in the back having all this fun playing on an Octopus tablet. And then she gets upset because she can't play on the Octopus tablet because she's sitting in the front. And her boyfriend's like, I offered to sit up there. You're just shit out of luck.
Yeah.
So drop them off at the bowling alley. And about 2 hours later, they get a call, ping from the bowling alley. It's them again. So take them from there to their apartment. So this time she gets in the back. But the guy's talking with me, and we had a really good conversation. He was a really nice guy. And we get to drop him off at the apartment, and he's like, hey, if you'll sit here for a couple minutes, I'll run in and get you. I'm going to bring you $50. I'm thinking this is,
right.
Not going to happen. It's like, yeah, sure. I'll sit here. So I back into a parking spot. by golly, here he comes walking out. And he's like, hey, here's $60. Tip me $60 on
That's
Cinco de
amazing.
Mayo for. He's like, hey, I know y'all put up with a lot and just want you to know you have a fun ride. He's like, we love your lights in your car, your LED lights. We love the tablet and having fun. He's like, just wanted you to know we appreciate you, man. I was like, you know what? Thank you. Thank you very much. We don't hear that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. I love when people do that.
Fantastic. And, it's not like, I don't think they were really wealthy. They looked like they were probably 25 or so, living in his apartment, but, he was just a really super generous guy. So I appreciate that. And, shout out to them. And I hope they had a good rest of their weekend.
I tell you what, when I get drunk, well, I'll tell you, pretty tipsy and I'm having a good time and I'm out at a restaurant, I tip like a motherfucker. Like, it's way
you're
more.
Feeling good, man. You're feeling good. Let it flow. I'm happy. Let's make everybody happy.
Oh man. And then I look at the receipt in the morning and I'm like, geez.
Yeah, that's a different kind of hangover.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm not like doing anything insane, but I might be tipping like 40% on something, and because I was just like, yay, let's go.
Yeah. Then you have the financial hangover the next day. They're like, what was I thinking, man?
Yeah, for sure. I bet a lot
of good, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people that go out to the bar and they'll be like, oh my god, last night I spent $400. I'm like, you spent $400 at a bar?
Oh,
did you buy the whole bar booze? Are drinks that expensive? Or how drunk did you get?
Yeah, I couldn't drink $400 worth of drinks.
I mean, maybe if they were like, even if they were like $30 worth of drinks, I couldn't do that.
Oh, I mean, I'm so like I've had one beer and one shot in like the last 15 years. It'd be like 2 drinks, I'd be.
Yeah. Tom says Saturday night beer me. I would love to have a beer right now, but I actually have, don't tell anybody, I have a private ride tonight.
Oh,
very late.
Just between us friends here.
Yeah, very late. So I am not drinking. I would love to have a beer right now. Saturday night.
Abstain. Yeah. It's funny. 2 of our kids are here. They came in, for Mother's Day tomorrow, and they were coming in just as I was coming in the room to get ready for the podcast. And they had, like a 6-pack of beer and then some stuff to make margaritas, I think. And I was like, hey, we drink really heavy on the podcast.
Yeah.
And he was like, really? Or something. I was like, are you serious? I'm like, no. I was like, no, Jesper and Jason and Jesper, would have some drinks every now and then, but no, I like, I don't drink.
Were you on those shows a couple of times where we had whiskey and towards the end? That's what I told him. I was like, they were doing whiskey one time and they were getting a little sloppy toward the end. Well, that whiskey, I mean, it's strong. I poured myself a heavy drink and by like 9:45 or 8:45, I'm like, holy shit,
I got to dial this back a little bit.
Dial it back. There was nothing left. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end of the show.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling. You're like, oh man, I think I pushed it too far.
Yep.
I can't unring this bell now.
No, you can't. You're
it is done.
You're along for the ride. So, all right. Before we jump in gig economy news, Kim Side Money Plans. Go to any of your podcast player and download Kim's Side Money Plans. Big YouTuber, lots of subscribers, trying to grow her podcast. And I forgot to tell Larry, and he's obviously invited, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Either I for sure am going to be on there. Larry might be. We'll talk about it. But on her show, 8 o'clock. And then I think I'll probably stream it because why not? I can stream it. And then on Wednesday, she's coming on our show.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got to meet her the other night when I was on Rideshare Rodeo.
Yeah,
the round table, and got to meet Kim for the first time. This, seems super nice and knowledgeable, very serious about what she does, and does a lot of food delivery. And if you have any food delivery questions, she's a good person to ask. Yeah, we'll try to lean away from rideshare on Wednesday because she's literally never done it. So, I mean, the stories are the stories, right? I mean, if it comes up rideshare, but she's very well versed in DoorDash and the catering program, the large order program, all the stuff. So, I know there's a new tier rewards program came out, so we'll definitely talk about that because she seems to know a lot about it as well. Right. So. All right, gig economy in the news. Uber spends millions on a Nevada ballot initiative that might slow sexual assault suits.
say that 10 times fast.
Man, that will get you. That's a tongue twister.
So obviously the gist of the story is they're getting sued, and so this is what Uber does, and I'm actually kind of it kind of bums me out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of shady what they're doing.
Yes,
So the
shady.
the layman's version of it is they are trying to cap the amount someone can that the lawyer can win in the state of Nevada in these suits. So normally it's 40 or 50% they get, but they're capping it. They're trying to, it's on the ballot to cap it at 20%. And so it's basically because they're getting sued left and right for, people having drivers, doing things to people, but they've spent $4 million to try to get this passed through. And as we know, they start throwing money around and shit happens. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it really is disappointing because it just looks bad. Here they are, everyone knows, everybody reads the news, you see it happens. People, unfortunately there are some sketchy drivers out there that do things they shouldn't do, and Uber does face a lot of lawsuits. But instead of trying to fix the problem the right way, they're trying to make it where, if the lawyer's only going to get 20%, there's going to be a lot of lawyers who are like, that's not worth my time.
No,
I'm not going to take that case if I'm only getting 20%.
Well, especially the complex ones. If it's a class action, that's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's not just a one-off stuff like that. And
it's a ton of work.
And the problem is like, they realize, okay, if we can get Nevada to do it, then we can get California to do it, and then Michigan, and just like the Prop 22, and we're going to stop it here, which, again, we want that. I want that as far as Prop. I don't want to, I think Larry's the same way. I don't want the government involved. I want to just stay exactly how it is. But, man, it's just, I know other companies do this. I get it, but, like, when it's this kind of thing, we're like, well, it's not that they, I'm sure they're not going around saying we don't care about sexual assault survivors and stuff like that, but it just doesn't look good. And I hope more people that are in the gig community or content creators are talking about this, because this is some absolute bullshit. So
definitely, it just looks bad. It really, really looks bad.
But you know what? Money talks and bullshit walks. Unfortunately, if you got the money, you can fucking do whatever you want, which, I mean, if I had a lot of money, I would like that. But in the same token, I don't know. I always think about politics, right? Like, can you imagine me in politics? I say to myself, I would never do that. I would never do that. But I don't know if I'd ever get reelected after that. You know what I mean? I think you get elected, and then you go in there and people are trying to buy you off, and you say no, and then guess what?
Yeah,
you don't get elected again. But
yeah, I can see in politics. I mean, Jesse Ventura was, governor of Minnesota.
Yeah, he's kind of a kook.
Yes, that was very interesting when he was governor.
Yeah, he's kind of a kook. If you've heard him talk before, he's a little crazy. But
took one too many, power slams on the head back in his WWE days.
Can you imagine me being in Congress, walking in with my Lions hat, my big beard? I'm like, I'm not fucking doing my hair. I'm wearing a hat, bitch. Like, let's get some shit done.
Hey, you got that one guy that's wearing sweatpants or stuff to Congress now. They changed the dress code.
Who cares? Like, let's just work. We're here to work. That's pomp and circumstance. Like, not that I would respect the office, and if we were going to a dinner or whatever, I wouldn't wear.
Sure.
I would dress up and stuff. But if we're there to work, get me in my freaking sweats and t-shirt. Let's get
be comfortable and get the work done.
Yeah, like who wants to be in a fucking suit all day? Jeez.
No doubt.
Anyways, so moving on, Larry, you want to read this statement, kind of the title of the show?
And we've talked about this, it comes up every so often. And this is just something that we wish all delivery customers would know. And, it's just a few five simple rules to follow if you're ordering food. Number one, remember that it's not a tip. It's really a bid for the contract worker service. And you've got to look at it that way. The higher your tip is, the better chance you have of getting your food quickly while it's still warm and still tastes good.
Yeah.
It's, that's just the way it works out. And rule number 2 is read rule number 1 again. It's not a tip. It's a bid for contract worker services. And number 3, make your instructions clear. If you want it left in a specific spot, make sure you outline exactly where that's at. We don't know your references to your house and your yard.
Before you continue, I don't know if it would be possible, but I would love the opportunity to put a picture. Because some people put this instructions like it's this much. I'm reading it, and I don't have a
gives you a headache.
Well, I don't have a 3D brain. Like I can't take something that's 2-dimensional on instructions. Like me putting shit together is a nightmare. And
I'm the same way.
And put it in my how would this fit? So a picture might be helpful. Overhead map of an apartment complex. Here's the entrance, and then draw a little line. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be great. But I make sure your instructions are really clear. Yes.
Yeah, that would help a ton. So number 4 is don't place an order and then hide your phone.
Yeah.
We may have questions. We may be trying to get in touch with you. The app could be lagging behind. It could say we're 10 minutes away when we're at your door or pulling in your driveway. So, same way that goes for Uber too. If you order a ride, pay attention to what's going on. Don't make your driver wait for 4 minutes and 59 seconds before you pop out.
I've definitely ordered on those apps before, and it is a little. It's not. You have to kind of pay attention to it. It's not like it's not like your phone rings and and maybe the text message didn't go through. I mean, don't you want your food as hot as you can get it?
Exactly. And again, they may have questions, or they may be at the restaurant and they didn't have what you ordered and they're wanting to see if you want a substitution, and they can't do that if you're not paying attention to your phone.
Absolutely.
So, and then number 5 is these food delivery apps. It's not Tinder. Don't be a creep. Don't be creeping out on your delivery drivers. Especially if you're a guy and you have a female delivery driver, don't be pervy to her. Don't be, making her uncomfortable with your message.
Don't listen to our last podcast where we talked about a Grubhub driver and a customer getting married after. But that was different. That was a little different because it was her to him.
Exactly, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I like that. Yeah. It's a bid for service. I don't know how we can communicate that. I mean, how amazing would it be if DoorDash or Uber Eats said, hey guys, this is a bid for service. If they put that in their verbiage,
yes.
Oh my God, I think drivers would be I think they would change the way they think about DoorDash. Cause that is definitely looking out for the driver. They rarely do that stuff. Sure. And, man, it would be amazing for them to do that. So
that would be sweet.
I think it's split in here. Tommy's making money by watching this. M. Argentini, I don't know, is not making money and is watching it. Larry says we're worth it. I don't know if I'd go that far, but we'll see. Where are we at here?
Oh my gosh. I think you're up with this Uber Eats story that was on Reddit.
I'm just happy we're 20 minutes in and the stream hasn't died. Okay.
Yes.
So this is so weird. So I don't even some of the shit I read on Reddit. Drivers keep leaving their phones at my door. Okay, today is the second time a driver has left their cell phone inside the bag that my food came in. I'm assuming it's a second phone. I don't know what to do, honestly. And this almost feels sketchy, like a scam or something. What's up with this? I left a report with Uber Eats and I hope they can get their phone back. I don't even know.
So many questions.
I mean, I would think if it happened twice, and depending on how close the interactions, he ordered a couple days ago, I would think it would be a scam too. But what would the scam be? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the comments in there were saying, I know one of them said, "Oh, well, they stole a phone. They didn't get one tracked back to them, so they leave it with you. And then if nobody claims it in a week, they call back and say, hey, I left my phone." But that makes no sense to me. If you don't have to drop it at somebody's house, just go hide it hide it somewhere not at your house, and then wait and see if it gets claimed. So that didn't really hold water to me. So I can't figure out any kind of scam scenario. I mean, there probably is. I'm sure there's people out there that could figure out some kind of scam scenario with this, because they think all sorts of stuff that are wild and crazy that I never would have thought of.
Well,
But,
it's definitely not the driver's phone because he needs to take the picture. Even if it was a second phone, he's not going to like take the picture and drop it in. A lot of the comments say that maybe it's a food worker's phone. Who the fuck knows?
Are the bags not sealed? Apparently not.
Well, unless
sealed.
the only thing I can think of, and this would be so freaking like funny, is your coworker that doesn't like you grabbed your phone and just put it in a McDonald's bag and then
pop
sealed
it in the bag and like, I haven't seen your phone. Man.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of funny if it was like a ghetto phone, but not like a brand new phone. Yeah. But I don't know.
Interesting.
You see crazy things on Reddit, and you're like, "Is this even a real thing?"
Yeah, you wonder. You do wonder sometimes. Like, is somebody just making this up? Because it makes no sense. It doesn't. It happened to happen twice in a row in a short amount of time. Really makes no sense.
Yeah. All right, moving on. I have, as you're talking about this, Steve sent me a picture, and he just wants me to move. He wants me to use it because he was very proud of making it. So I'm going to work on getting this to the stream, but you can start talking about the Instacart partner.
Okay. Yeah. So, Instacart and Uber are teaming up. And so now Instacart customers are going to be able to use, the Instacart platform to order from hundreds of thousands of Uber Eats restaurant partners. And so you're not even going to have to leave the Instacart app. So, you can order your groceries and you're like, oh, I want something to eat too. I don't want to feel like making anything from these groceries that are coming in. You can order. It has another tab within the Instacart app, and you can order your Uber Eats for that night. And this very well could be a response to the Amazon delivery program that came up recently. I think that's what kind of most people are thinking of. So it is interesting though. I know Uber wants to be their everything. They want you to be able to order your bus ticket, probably I'm sure eventually they can be able to order your plane tickets through Uber. They want to be a one-stop app where you can do all this stuff. And so this is kind of maybe a way for them to test out the waters. And we've talked about it also. This could be a way for them to test the waters, whether they want to, it could be thinking of buying Instacart and seeing how the integration works. There's a lot of unknowns there, but it is an interesting thing to see them team up.
So as I was grabbing that photo, I missed at the beginning. So you're on Instacart, and if you want to order from McDonald's, let's say, you just tap a look.
There's another. Yeah, it says there's a tab within the Instacart app. And it allow you to browse from nearby restaurants, look at menus, place orders, and track deliveries, all within Instacart.
So it doesn't open the Uber app.
That's what what it says. It says it's another tab, so it doesn't. Sounds like it doesn't pop out into the open the Uber app. It's integrated within. So
that's crazy.
Which takes more work. Obviously, it's not that hard to get something to pop out to another app. That's just a little bit of code, but to integrate that within, that takes a little more work.
A ton of work. So in my head, I feel like Uber's probably paying Instacart to do this.
Yeah,
I bet they're going to steal something on the back end. They just want to get into the system, and then they're like, "Oh, look at all this data," and then they're going to be like, we're going to buy Instacart," and that's
not
crazy.
Uber. They wouldn't do that.
They wouldn't do that at all. Okay, here's what he created. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I can tell he created on Canva because these colors. Yeah. Hell, I think my thumbnail right now has that blue color in the background. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta look. It might. Yeah. It's same color, but not the exact same design. So if you see Steve, tell him that he loved his logo. He was like, "I'm going to give this to you." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I don't know when I'll use it." And then I forgot that we were talking about that story tonight. But
exactly. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. I think at the round table.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I think all those apps, like Facebook, is the same way. They're trying to keep you on the app as long as possible.
Exactly.
Because guess what? Your eyeballs see those ads. That's all they want to do. But obviously they're not showing ads in Instacart and Uber, but I don't know. I'd like to see the back end deal on that. Mm-hmm. If Uber is paying Instacart, or it's a mutual thing, or maybe Instacart's getting something out of it, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and it says customers that have the Instacart Plus membership also are able to get free delivery on both grocery and restaurant orders that are over $35, which just happens to be the same price that you get it on the Amazon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's $35.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
amazing how that works.
M says, so probably just send it to Uber servers, get offered a whopping $3 for 10 miles. Well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean the offer is going to be better for the drivers.
Yeah.
No doubt they'll be worse. So, well, I'm looking forward to that. I don't use Instacart as a customer, and I've probably done maybe 50 shops on Instacart total. So
really? 50 more than I've done.
Well, when the bottom is like, I open it up in the summer when it's so freaking slow if I'm not doing rideshare. Because like for a while there, I was I was like, no, I'm not doing rideshare. I'm going to stick to food. I can make money. But then it started getting slow. And so I don't know how much food delivery I'll be doing this summer when I'm off. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of rideshare. So.
Yeah, just got to go where the money is.
Right. Okay, so this next video, I have absolutely no idea what it is because, okay, so there's a couple of self-driving videos of the Waymo cars. This first one, I think, is at a construction site, and it doesn't know what to do. So we're going to play that real quick.
Sir, we cannot move. We're sorry. His car.
I lied. That's not the right one. Hold on. There we go. So it's stuck in the construction site right now, like on a road. It doesn't know what to do. The guy's trying to tell them to move on. No. Nope. So, what in the hell? Okay, so I know I was talking. Unfortunately, with Larry on the stream, they can hear me when on the audio, but they can't hear you. It's just weird because I'm recording locally. Anyways, if you are listening, the car was there and the road was all broken, and there was workers in front of him. Well, the car's not going to go with someone there. And as soon as he backed up, it started moving a little bit more, and then he backed up and got out of the way, and it looked like it was going to turn into that shopping center or whatever, but why'd they stop the recording right there? Let me see the rest of it, how it worked out.
Yeah, see how it turned out.
And the next one is they're recording it from inside the car. A police officer, I think, was trying to get him to move, and they couldn't move.
Sir, we cannot move. We're sorry. His car won't let us move.
He's trying to direct.
Hey, we're not driving.
He doesn't know that, though. The Gig Economy Podcast will be back after a quick break.
You love listening to podcasts, but have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? Maybe you want to build a brand, grow your business, or are looking for an excuse to talk about your favorite hobby. Whatever your reason for making a podcast, Buzzsprout is the place to start. Since 2009, Buzzsprout has helped over 300,000 people launch their own podcasts. Buzzsprout walks you step by step through the whole process and will give you powerful tools to start, grow, and monetize your podcast. Ready to get started? Click the link in the show notes to get our free step-by-step guide to starting your podcast today.
He's trying to... Sir, there's no one there.
Why wouldn't they roll down the fucking window?
Sir, I'm sorry.
I was talking while I was muted. Why wouldn't they roll down the window? She was in the front. She'd be like, hey, this is a self-driving car. The window's locked?
Yeah, I don't know. But what's funny too is, I mean, you wonder what's going to happen because it's using GPS and it knows the shortest way or the right way to get there. But yeah, if there's an accident and the policeman's going, no, you got to go over and take this side road. What's it going to do? Self-driving car doesn't understand hand motions from a police officer that you got to detour around here, and there's nobody sitting in the driver's seat in that car.
Correct.
What are they going to do?
I mean, they're going to have. So I can see them just rerouting. Like it should be something where, that maybe I don't know. No, because I was going to say maybe the customer can report an accident, and then I mean once they get away from there and get on another road, it'll be fine. But would it try to reroute back to that same spot. That's the thing. Cause like if you're using GPS and it doesn't know there's an accident, it's going to literally keep trying to until you get far enough away. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, obviously you're not going that way, but it's going to keep trying to go back to that same spot.
Right. Yeah, just like when if there's a wreck on the interstate, you're trying to get off, but the GPS doesn't know about it yet. You get off, it just every street is trying to take you back to the interstate. You know, all the time. But yeah, I mean, because there's times where stuff happens in the road, and the policeman's like, "Hey, you're gonna have to turn around, go back 2 blocks, and make a left and come around." I mean, how long is it going to take? Even if the customer can program, how long is that going to take to program it to, and is the car going to be able to back out and get out? I don't know.
Well, this is where self-driving will be here, but there'll always have to be someone in the car, like for those instances, unless you're just if you're doing highway runs from A to B, like maybe. But if you're in the city, like you're going to have to, because obviously if there's a driver there, what do? He would just take control and go on his way, and then go
follow
back.
the policeman's orders, and you're going to be good. Yeah, but a self-driving car doesn't understand that this section of this 20 feet is blocked, and you've got a detour to the right. Go through, even like if they had to go through somebody's big circle driveway to go around that or something. Car's never going to do that.
No, it's all data points, and if even if they could recognize, oh, there's a police officer there, I need to go, it's still going to want to go back to that. Like if your destination was this 300 yards on the other side of where that was blocked, it's going to want to go to that same point. So there's got to be somewhere you can override that. But I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, but then I'm like, seriously, open the window. Like,
they weren't helping the situation. No. They're just throwing his hands up. It's a self-driving car.
Yeah.
Well, you're stopped. Either roll the window down or open the door and get out and tell them, look, hey, we have no control over this car, and I don't know what to do.
Honestly, if I wasn't like an Uber driver and kind of like, I'm not like studying self-driving, but I know a lot about it, I wouldn't know what the fucking car that is. I'd be like, I don't know, some weird, I would have been like, oh, that's a Google photo car. Like I wouldn't even known it was a self-driving car.
Yeah. You see somebody in the other seat, and I mean, you probably just think, oh, it's got the driver, it's got the steering wheel on the wrong side. It's one of those, a European car, steering wheel's over here,
And who knows how long that happened. And the cop needed some time to like figure out, like, okay, wait a minute, the driver,
what's
the person's
going on
on
here?
the other side. What the fuck?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, confusing. Man. All right.
And we'll see more and more of these.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to be just as funny as that one.
Yeah.
Octopus tablet. Here we go. Someone just signed up recently to get theirs. Get it. You make money every month. If you're a full-time driver, right around $100. I probably make like $25 a month driving every other weekend, which I'm fine with. And you get more tips. Let's face it. Awesome
you might get a $60 tip because people enjoyed playing your Octopus tablet.
Yeah, for sure. Fun games on it. It's very current with the times. If it's the college NCAA tournament, they talk about that. They need to put some gambling in there. That's what they need to do.
Yeah. The Kentucky Derby last week. I think they had some. I think there's some information on there, but you couldn't gamble on there. But I think they had some horse racing related things on there, which if you didn't watch it, was an amazing race.
Came down to like inches, right?
It was inches, and I bet $5 and I made $98.
Did you?
I did, because I picked Mystic Dan because our oldest son's name is Dan. And so last year, me and my wife picked like the first and second horse. And I'm like, next year, I'm going to bet $5 for each of us. So like day before, we were looking at the horses just by name. That's all. We didn't look at their stats or anything like that. So I picked Mystic Dan, and he was 18-1, and he won by like that much. I mean, one more stride, he would have lost.
So he was 18-1.
He was. I bet $5 and made $98.
Man, if you would have put like $1,000 on that thing.
Well, that's what I tell my wife. It's like, I'm doing next year. I'm betting $10,000.
Oh yeah,
like, I don't think it doesn't work that way.
She's like, get bet.
Yeah, you're gonna dream on, big man.
You're gonna be living in a cardboard box. Anyways, so grab the tablet. It's great. It's great for your customers, and making free money just for not doing shit. It's worth it. So. All right. Lyft CEO reveals his biggest challenge competing with Uber. I did not read this, but I'm looking forward to you talking about it, Larry.
Yeah, so their new CEO, David Reicher, I think he's been in maybe a year, something like that. And I tend to like, kind of the way he thinks. I think he's really trying to do the right thing. I think
Yes.
he's made some positive changes with Lyft. I think he'll continue to. But they interview him, they're just asking him, how do you fight against Uber? Uber's so dominant. Lyft's just in North America, here in Canada. Uber is worldwide pretty much. I mean, not every country, but it's in a lot of countries. And so how do you fight against that stuff? And he said that really his biggest challenge in kind of revitalizing the company and establishing it as a prominent player in the industry is just fighting inertia. He said with COVID, we had all those COVID years. He said you have to find ways of fighting the inertia of people to staying home rather than going out and doing things. And then also the inertia of using the same old app, because I tend to find that people do that. Whatever their first app they use, whether it's Lyft or Uber, they just tend to stick with it.
Yep.
And I tell everybody, people ask all the time, what's the difference between them? And I tell everybody, have them both. Every ride I take, I check them on both apps because usually one's cheaper and you never know which one, but sometimes it's significantly cheaper. One may be surging, the other one isn't. So
yeah, I don't know why people are loyal to an app unless you like get a route. Like I like Come and Go because they give me good rewards. But like if they're not giving that, like why aren't you looking at it's the same drivers, y'all. Like people are like, oh, you drive for Lyft you drive for Uber. I'm like, yeah, bro. This happened to be a better price, and so I took it.
That's what cracks me up because we've all had them in the passengers like, oh man, the Lyft drivers are just so much nicer. They're so much nicer than the Uber drivers. And I'm like, thinking in my mind, in Bowling Green, everybody's driving for both of them.
Yeah.
Big city, you might pick one or the other, but in Bowling Green, you're going to starve if you're just driving for one of them.
Yeah.
So, they probably had one or two experience or bad experiences with Uber and a good experience with Lyft, and it, kind of jades them. But yeah, I think people just, need to get into the habit. It's like people get in the habit. There may be 10 ways to get somewhere from your house to the store you go to. You get in the pattern of going this one way. It's not any faster. It's not any, quicker.
Yeah.
It's just habit. And I think that's what it is with the app. Because I ask people, like, why do you use Uber instead of Lyft? I'm just used to using Uber, or, I've just always used Lyft, just always have. I'm like, well, download the other one and check it out. It's the same, it's the same program. The interface is a little different, but you can save some money.
Yeah.
Make them work for your business. Not, don't just give it to them.
Right. So, finishing up your story, we kind of jumped off there. So what is his plan to compete with Uber?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really go into that too much in here. It was more about, it was really kind of more about him and his business, his decision to, he was a former Amazon executive. And so he said he was coming into a role where he was, he had a very certain future at Amazon, which was going to make a lot of money and a very successful company. But he said he was very happy with the decision to step over into Lyft. And I think he sees it as a challenge. Lyft there for a while, we really thought they were going to get sold to somebody. It looked like month by month. I remember saying, man, I'm gonna have to change my brand. It's not gonna be a Lyft. I can't be lifting with Larry with no Lyft.
Right.
But you don't really hear that talk anymore, or I haven't lately. So I think they're kind of turning it around a little bit, and I think he's working on trying to make these improvements. And there's always things that we're like, man, why can't they just do this? Just do this, and we'd be happy. Right. But I think he's trying. I think I like him being in that position a lot better than the founders. I think you have to be, a founder, you have to be a certain mindset and a certain personality, which is good for being a founder.
Yep.
But I think after a while, they need to move on and let somebody else run it.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're going public, same with Dara being in charge now, and Travis before was just a lunatic. But you got to be a lunatic to do that. You got to
do some of those things and take those chances with that with all those zeros on there. Yeah. You have to have a little bit of craziness.
And you got to be willing to go into some gray area to get some stuff done, and they definitely
piss some people off and not be, you have to do that.
Traveler doesn't like Lyft, but I mean, I personally am not saying I like him, but I'm like, it's better than what it's been. You know what I mean?
And he says Lyft is following Uber. They do that. One of them will come out with some new features, and then the other one does it. And sometimes it's Lyft coming out with them first, sometimes it's Uber coming out with them first. But if it's good and it works, you know the other one's going to do it eventually.
It is very strange, though, for someone, and they must have a giant ego, right? Because why would you leave Amazon, a successful company, making a shit ton of money, probably got a pretty cush job, to go into Lyft where they're like struggling like a mofo? Like, it's just so bad. But each to his own, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said. He said he was, the co-founders approached him and asked him if he would be interested in stepping in to try to help reverse, the losses that they were having. And he said that he would be, he knew he was trading a very certain future for a very uncertain one, but it was the easiest decision I'd ever made. So, some people just, they like that challenge. They really do. They thrive on that. And I think he at Amazon, he probably, I'm sure he had a cushy job and he could have just rode that out. But he probably wasn't being challenged there anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get high up in a company without knowing what you're doing, being challenged, and
having some drive too.
Maybe,
and
I mean, it must be nice if you're that rich. You can be like, I'm getting bored making $20 million a year. I'm going to go someplace else. So
it's definitely a specific type of mindset to do those kind of things for sure. But,
right.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not singing his praises, but I do like the way he's kind of headed, at least in the first bit of his tenure.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Uber posts a revenue to $10 billion for Q1. I saw somebody talking about that they're not profitable. I'm like, well, they are profitable. So the ride-hailing food delivery platform expect to see a significant improvement in profit, with analysts projecting earnings share of 0.21 or about $477 million compared to a loss per share of 0.08 or a loss of $157 million a year ago in the quarter. So that I think that's pretty good. I mean,
and this is wild too. I was just doing a little bit messing around when I was reading some of the numbers, and it said they I think it was somewhere in this article, they talked about they averaged average in that quarter about 28 million rides per day worldwide, or maybe that was just US. But just figuring out that's 1,166,000 rides an hour, or 19,444 rides a minute.
What?
That's crazy.
How is that even possible?
That's just amazing.
How do they even have the servers to handle that? That's freaking nuts.
Yeah. And you do have to have some servers, because you see the people on Facebook are like, oh, I don't know why Uber takes so much money. They don't do anything. Well, they've got a big infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, to look at the back end of there has got to be insane. That's crazy. But I mean, I have some Uber stock. I buy it regularly, small amounts. I have a stash account, and it's been doing okay. Lyft, I haven't bought a dime of Lyft. It's like I've lost like 68% of the money I've put in there. I don't buy any more Lyft, but I do buy Uber and I do buy DoorDash. I mean, even them, they're not but it's doing well. You know what I mean? And I got to support the companies that are doing well. So anyway,
this new Lyft CEO is going to bring it back. You're going to wish you'd bought when it was low.
I don't know. I mean, if it starts to trend a little up a little, I mean, I need some sort of consistently like 6 months of like, it doesn't have to be great. I might buy some more, but fuck.
I understand.
And I loved Lyft. When Lyft started out, I was all about Lyft. I made more money on Lyft. They just seem to have a better customer service, like the whole 9 yards. And it's kind of like they're definitely the same now. They're both, you can't call them anymore. It's all chat, and definitely paid the same. So
definitely. Yep.
Oh God, this scam we need to talk about. I can't believe people actually try to pull this shit.
I mean, this one is wild. So anyway, in this story, it shows kind of a chat exchange between a driver and a passenger. And then, it shows the screen, the chat screen that we've all seen on Uber. It says Hector's driving, it may not be able to answer, but then the driver says, be there in 3 minutes due to several times of failed connection with driver phone, I guess.
Phone number.
Emoji. Phone number. Kindly send your phone number to confirm. And then he repeats it. Kindly send your email to confirm. And then he repeats it again. Kindly send your email to confirm. And the passenger's like, I don't see why you need that. and the driver answering back says, sir, I've been facing a problem since the morning, which is that I cannot access the map unless it is verified. I am sorry for you. And the passenger says, is phone not enough? We're on an app that has our information.
Yeah, clearly the guy, the customer knows what's going on. Like he's
he's
probably
not
like
sending this stuff.
No. But you know what? You get grandma in the car that, knows how to basically use the app, but like she 100% she would do this.
Yes, there are people who will do that. I mean, it just is. And they wouldn't be doing these kind of scams if they don't succeed sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, there's definitely no reason for any Uber driver to ask you for your phone and your email. They're trying to get into your account.
Well, I was going to say, what is the scam? Are they trying to get?
Yeah, that's not a driver account. So what would they do if they get into a passenger account?
Yeah,
use it to call for rides, so they don't have to pay for their Uber rides anymore. I don't know.
I'd be curious to know if anyone else, if you hear this, reach out to us, let us know. But I don't know what the scam would be.
Yeah, I forget. I know they talked about it on Reddit a little bit.
Did they? Did I save the link? Oh, I did save the link.
Yeah,
I've been trying to put the links in there with the picture so we can go in there.
Yes, but they were saying they were kind of getting confused too, because he said it's a scam. They tried to get into your account and click lost password, which would send a text code to your phone. But what's that going to do if you get into somebody's passenger account?
Well, if you send a text to their phone, they have their phone.
Yeah.
You don't you have their phone number, but unless you like change their account, like
But the best Reddit comment in here was like, anyone who uses the word kindly is a total scammer.
Yeah.
So if they say kindly send this, just hang up on them.
Yeah. God. I hate that when you're like chatting with customer service or whatever, and they do all these stupid pleasantries and kindly, and they're like, just fix my problem. Like I've been dealing with Xfinity, right? Because I was chatting with them and they're like, how's your day? And kindly give me that. And like, shut the fuck up and just fix my problem. I don't care how you are in India. Like, I want this fixed. Ugh.
Paying for some service, not for some friendly conversation.
Yeah, I mean, we're not friends. Jesus, Jenny. All right, so this next one, I saw a lot of people posting about it. The passenger threatens to shoot driver if he doesn't get her home safe. Now, this is a first reveal for me. I've not watched this yet.
Really?
I watched it on mute, but like I've not heard what it said, so I don't know.
I've watched it.
Oh, you've watched it? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll play it. If the audio's not great, I'll play it again. It's only 35 seconds. So the premise is basically guy has his sister orders an Uber for her and then tells the driver he's going to shoot him or shoot somebody if she doesn't get home safe.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
You make sure she gets home safe. It's my little sister.
All right, thank you so
I will
much.
drive home and shoot somebody if she doesn't
Good
get home
night.
safe.
Love ya.
Well,
It's all right.
dude, that's what I do. You can actually get somebody else. I don't like being threatened. Go ahead and get out.
No.
Go ahead and get out. It's okay. Go ahead and get out. It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Yeah, it's all
Sorry
good.
about that.
Okay. Well, I don't think he was threatening him. I think he was just a little drunk what do you think?
I think he was definitely a little drunk, and I think this has definitely happened before. Because did you see how fast the sister said okay and got out of the car? This is not the first time this has happened.
Right.
He has done this before to her.
Yeah.
With her being the passenger, and I don't think the guy was hey, I'm gonna he wasn't. He wasn't like a threat that he's really going to follow through. But I mean, he did say, "You get her home, or I will come and shoot you."
No, he didn't say you. He didn't say you. He said, "I will shoot somebody." So
Okay, well, I mean, who else is he talking about?
Well, I know, but again, driver did the right thing. I would have canceled that fucking ride.
Yeah, he handled it perfectly. Just
Perfect.
immediate, didn't get mad, didn't get upset, didn't say anything to him. He's like, you know what? I don't like being threatened. You can get another ride.
Yeah.
But that girl got out so fast. If that had never happened before, she'd be like, oh no, wait, he didn't mean, I think she would have been trying to change his mind or something a little bit. But yeah, he's done stuff like that before.
Yeah, Jimothy. Hey, don't take one of these anyone's bullshit, right? That's right, Jimothy. 100%.
That's right.
It's funny too. I would have kicked him out, but I would have been a little. See, I don't know about you, Larry. You're probably not like this, but I'm kind of always on edge when I'm driving rideshare. Not on the edge, but I'm always a little like when I get done, I have sweaty pits. Like there's a little anxiety for me. I don't know.
There is. I mean, you have to be, or you need to be. You need to be very situationally aware of what's going on, because you don't know who this person is getting in your car. You don't know if this is Joe Smo that's a deacon in his church and he's a great guy. Or you don't know if this is John Smith who just got out of the pen and he's looking to create some havoc.
Yeah,
we really have no idea. So you have to be. Yeah, I mean, people think, oh, it's just driving around for 8 hours. That's not that hard. Yeah, but you're on. I mean, you're having to be constantly assessing the situation, assessing the passenger, what their mood is. How do I handle this? Do I need to kick them out of the car? You're always, it's mentally draining, as well as just being in a car will tire you out for 8 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
longer.
If you're doing 30 rides, think about you have to assess 30 times. Now, once someone has having fun and they're playing the tablet, it releases.
But
then,
until that point, and sometimes it never gets to that point during the whole ride, and it could be a 20-minute ride, and it never gets to that point, and you're on edge all the time, looking, okay, what am I? What? There's times I'm like, okay, what light pole am I going to hit on that side to take this dude out if I have to?
Right.
And, you think of things like that because you just have to, no matter how nice we can be. You don't know what their state of mind is, whether they're having mental problems or family problems, or they're under the influence of alcohol or drugs or things like that. You just never know. And I've not had somebody say, I will come and shoot you, but I've had 4 or 5 times people say basically that same thing. Hey, you make sure you get home, or you're going to be in trouble. I'm like, dude, this is what I said the exact same thing. This is what I do.
Do you think I'm out? Well, I mean, there are obviously people out there that are predators, but I mean, it's like, I'm not out here. I'm going to get them home. That's how I make money.
Yeah, I tell them, and I usually tell them, like, look, I've got 5 sisters and 3 daughters. I am very good care of the female passengers. I look out for them.
Yeah.
I just do. But yeah, I've had 4 or 5 times at least people have said, whether it's a father and he's putting his daughter in there, or it's a boyfriend or a brother and sister, different situations. But yeah,
I don't think people talk about this enough, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like safety, and we talk about it in generalities, right? The safety, but like, I don't think I've ever said that I'm anxious when I'm driving. And I'm not like, obviously I can still drive and be fine with it, but I mean, I'm not kidding you. In the middle of winter, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt, like I got sweaty pits when I get done. It's just a little bit of anxiety. And then when you're home safe and no one's puked, a lot of it's puking too. Like, that's why I kind of quit driving super late nights, because I was like, man, after midnight, like, I'm just fucking anxious all the time that someone's going to puke.
I went through a long period, never didn't deal with it whatsoever. I swear the last 2 months have been, I've had one person puke on the inside of my door, and I've had one that, she threw up in the bag. Then I've had 2 that, like, as soon as we got there, they opened the door, took 1 step out and threw up all over the floor.
I know.
All over the concrete. And I'm like, what is going on? So yeah, we don't, I don't remember are y'all ever talking about that,
no.
Really in depth. Because people do have that. They're like, oh, how hard is it? You drive, you pick somebody up, you drop them off. There's a lot more that goes into it for sure.
Yeah. It would be interesting. We're males, and it would be interesting to get some female drivers that are like veteran.
Think how much worse it is for them.
Yeah, like veteran drivers that drive all the time, and how bad it can be. yeah, it's definitely something that I think about. But yeah, it's so interesting. I'm just really reflecting on like, yeah, I'm anxious all the time when I'm driving. Not only that, like, I mean, I drive kids around and I'm like, sit down, fuckers. No, I've never said that.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm just going
Not out
down the
loud.
road. I'm not even sweating or nothing. I'm just like, well, I'm sweating because it's hot in the bus and there's no air conditioning. But I'm like, I'm not. I mean, I was early on. I was anxious, but man, if I went out and did rideshare right now tonight, I'm not sweating right now. I'd be fine.
Yeah.
My pits would be wet. So
Sure. Hey, shout out to Steve. He just joined the chat.
hey,
here.
Steve, I used your thumbnail tonight. Just to
Yeah,
let
we
you
liked
know.
it.
We liked it. It was nice. Miguel
We
said he
don't
was
have to pay a royalty for that, do we?
No, he said I could have it for free. Miguel said he was picking up in the hood, that guy. So I don't know if there's more story behind that. And he says, first rule of rideshare is stay away from the hood. Obviously, yeah. I mean, you drop off all the time in there, but I mean, you do run the risk of having more issues when you pick up in the hood. But I don't know. I didn't get hood vibes from that video, but it also was dark. So you never had anyone puke in your car? Oh, come on, Em. Like, how many rides have you done? Like, holy cow. That seems like impossible.
That's good. That's good though. It's a good,
God.
good record to have.
All right, let's talk. What are you doing? You talk this Prop 22 a little bit,
Yeah, we can do that.
and then call it good.
Yeah, that'll work. So this is
I didn't really get it. I read it, but it looked all above my pay grade.
yeah, it's a little tough. So anyway, so here's what the graphic has. It says protect dash routes. It says dash routes. Protect your dasher status. The California Supreme Court's on the brink of deciding the future Prop 22, and it's a pivotal moment for dashers. If the court backs Prop 22, dashers like you will retain the freedom and flexibility that define dashing. But if they strike it down, it could mean a tough road ahead. Said a recent Berkeley research group study found that the reversal of Prop 22 would eliminate 93% of app-based earning opportunities in California. So they're trying to get them to sign a petition. And then they have some sections, what you need to know. They talk about how it got voted in 2020. They overwhelmingly approved Prop 22, which gave dashers the right to maintain their independent contractor status. So if they overturn Prop 22, then they could be moving more to employee basis. And so this is trying to get you to sign this petition. It says Prop 22 was passed by nearly 60% of voters, and it protects your ability to work independently, make your voice heard, show your support by adding your name. And we've talked about this in the past. There's people on both sides of it, but we both, luckily we're not facing it in our states at this point. It may someday, come across the country. But we definitely want to be independent contractors. If we want a W-2 job, we'll go get a W-2 job.
Yeah, we already got enough of those between the two
Exactly.
of us.
For
so
sure.
is that saying that the Prop 22 status is going up for the government tried to do something else. They settled on Prop 22. They tried to do AB 5. They settled on Prop 22.
Mhm.
So
but now it's gone to the Supreme Court. It's going to the Supreme Court. So they're going to decide whether it's constitutional or not.
Oh, okay. I see.
That's what I read into it because
Okay.
it says here, the California Supreme Court's on the brink of deciding the future of Prop 22. So somebody somewhere has sued and it's been pushed and gone to appeals and it's gone all the way to the California Supreme Court. So they're going to end up making a decision. And of course they're wanting people to sign this petition so they can stay independent. And we very much are on the side of being independent. That is the great attraction to me for this job. That's why I got into it at the first. I didn't want something where I had to be somewhere at a certain time. This was something I could do in my free time. The kids are busy. My wife's busy grading paper or something. I can go out for an hour or 3 hours whenever I want, whether it's on a Saturday morning or, late Thursday night, whenever I want to go. I can turn the app on and make some money.
Yeah.
And, that's what we love about it. We love that independence of being able to do that. And if it's something where we had to schedule and be there a certain time to a certain time, I don't think either of us would be doing rideshare.
Well, I think Prop 22 was the best of both worlds, though, right? They didn't have to do the scheduling because I've heard good things about Prop 20. I mean, they get extra money and stuff like that. But I've never really talked to somebody that's been like super involved with it. I know John McCallion for a while was talking about it, and he said he liked it, but it did flood the market, though. It did put more drivers out there,
which we don't
no
need.
No,
if you're already doing it, you don't want more drivers for sure.
Yeah,
we know how much more saturated the market is than when we first started. It's unbelievable how many more drivers there are out working now, and of course that's everybody's right to go out and do that.
Yep, for sure. Well, this was a good show. I'm glad we didn't have any internet issues. And
yes, thank goodness.
Just a reminder, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, you'll see it on this channel. But also when we're streaming, go to Kim's channel. Make sure you subscribe to her show too.
Yeah, she has a lot of good content. Really does.
During the stream, I would love you to be on our channel, but before the show, go to hers and make sure you subscribe. Because we want you on this channel as much as we can. But then so she'll be here too, or we'll be on her show Tuesday, and then Wednesday we'll be back for our normal show, barring any internet issues. And
what's Argent?
I just started calling
Argentina,
him or her M.
Yeah, M. So M. Kim Side Money Plans is someone who's doing a cross swap right now with her, doing some advertising for her. She's doing some advertising for us, but she does a lot of food delivery, and we will have a link in the description or the show notes. To go to her site.
Yep, for sure. So, as always, don't put up with anyone's bullshit,
and we'll see you on the road. Just like that guy didn't put up with anybody's bullshit.
That's right. Have a good night, y'all.
Kick him out. Good night.
This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com.